Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining another episode of the Educational Leadership Podcast. We have another very special guest. Before we introduce our guest, we do want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Ideal Impact. Ideal Impact's giving away hundreds of millions of dollars to public education in the form of a free gift. So if your district needs unrestricted funds, reach out to Ideal Impact. Okay, today we have Superintendent Smith from Brownfield ISD. Superintendent Smith, thank you for joining today.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. And just so our listeners get to know you a little bit, could you share a little bit about your district, your background, kind of like where the district's located, size, that sort of stuff as well?
Sure. My name's Chris Smith. I'm the superintendent of Brownfield ISD. I'm starting my 8th year at the helm of the district. We are located about 30 miles southwest of Lubbock, Texas, which is where Texas Tech is. That's what most people know us from. I'm an alumni there myself, Uh, so we have about 1,450 students. We are predominantly a low socioeconomic student demographic, with 92% of our students qualifying for free and reduced lunch. And we have been able to do some really cool things over the last 7 years, and we're excited about the growth that we've experienced, the facilities that we've been able to upgrade and offer in the community, and the things that we've been doing.
Awesome, awesome. And what's what are there's a lot going on in public education right now. Funding's a hot topic. There's a lot of other hot topics. What
Absolutely.
are what's on your radar these days? Kind of what's your big focus in public ed these days?
Well, you hit one of them for sure. Funding is a big deal, especially here in Texas. There's some things going on in the legislature right now where they're trying to, increase funding in schools. So that's definitely a hot topic for us. I'm sure everybody talks about that. But I can tell you here in BISD, one of the things that we're focusing on is producing a student that's ready for the world after high school. So, that's some of the things that we've been focusing on. That's my hot topic in this district. That's something that we've prided ourselves on, that we've not only have led the region in the number of students graduating with associate's degrees, especially considering our demographic, that's significant. But we also are one of the regional leaders in preparing kids for CTE through our CTE programs, which include pharmacy tech, drone pilot, patient care technician, welding, auto tech. We have kids getting recruited out of our classrooms that are graduating, and they're getting jobs, taking jobs that are $25, $45 an hour, depending on what that certification is. So that is something that is a priority in our district. And so for us, everything that we do leads us to, we try to build on and lead to that goal of preparing students for beyond high school.
Very good, very good. Yeah, that's a big achievement, associate's degrees right out of high school. Wow. And it's nice hourly
Yeah, we
rates. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's been great. We had been Bradford ISD had been a historically low performing academic district. When we got here, it was rated as an F with multiple F campuses. And I'm, proud to say that we had been rated as a B with campuses rated as Bs, almost As. And that's just something that we're continuing to do. And we're doing things here that most thought weren't possible with our demographic. We've had congressmen come out and see what we're doing. We've had state representatives come out and see what we're doing. We've had the commissioner of education in the state of Texas come and see what we're doing, because number one, historically, it had not been done here. And number two, given our demographics of high minority and high poverty, it's just not the norm. Usually the data trends are, going the other direction, but for us, they're all going up. So it's been a really cool experience.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And talk about the community a little bit. What's the community look like? And when people graduate, do they stay local? Do they, travel, away? Where do they go?
Yeah. Yeah, we're pretty close to Lubbock, which is the largest city close to where we're at. So we do get a lot of people move to Lubbock, but we do get a lot of people that stay here. But now they're able to stay here and get work. And that's something that has changed over the last 7 years. That we have a hospital here. We're able to put kids in the hospital. We have pharmacies here. We're able to get kids, working as pharmacy technicians. We're an oil field type of community. So we're able to put welders and things like that, auto tech. We're able to get people to work on fleet vehicles right off the bat out of high school. So we're definitely a blue collar community. Our biggest industries is oil and grapes.
Huh.
Terry County is actually the grape capital of Texas. 98% of all grapes grown in Texas come from Terry County. And so, which is, where Brownfield is. So we have vineyards, lots of vineyards around us. And so we support the both that we support the agriculture side, and then we also support the industry, the oil field industry, and and peanuts. So that's what our local economy consists of. And so we try our best to serve that. And the other thing that we do is kind of unique. If you're going to New Mexico, like Ruidosa, or really anywhere in New Mexico from Texas, you're going to drive through Brownfield. And so we have a large amount of people that drive through Brownfield every day, which is good for business.
I can imagine. Yeah, I mean, wow, the economy there just seems like you got a lot of diversity and how things are being produced and what job opportunities and it's very interesting. That's unique. I don't think we've had anybody on the podcast with that kind of a local community and economy as you described.
Well, it is unique, and we do have a high poverty portion. Most, I don't want to say most, but most of our kids come from a high poverty background. But the opportunities are there, and we're trying to train our kids to be able to meet them. And we've had good success. We have a 100% graduation rate, which is kind of rare. Usually most districts are in the high, in the 90s, maybe low 90s, high 90s. Some of your larger urban districts are in the 80s, but we're 100% here in Brownfield ISD. We graduate our kids, we get them trained up, and we have changed their efficacy, which was one of the biggest challenges that we had to do when we got here, is change their mindset from being, hey, BISD has always been historically low performing to we're going to be one of the best districts in this region. And, so that took some time, but once the kids saw it and believed it, the community did too. And, man, it's just powerful. We passed a bond, built a state-of-the-art high school, that has amazing facilities that service our community. So it's been a good journey.
Yeah, wow. That's very interesting. And talk about your journey to superintendent. Obviously, you made a big impact on your district there. Talk about your journey to the superintendent.
Sure. Ironically, right out of college, when I graduated from Texas Tech, the first teaching and coaching job I ever had got was in Brownfield. Now, I didn't stay here. I stayed here for a few years, kind of chased, the career, became a head coach in Seagraves, which is down the road. But I spent 12 years in Lubbock ISD, which is a large district that serves, I don't know, 30,000 students. And that's kind of where I learned how to be an administrator. I worked in that environment for 12 years, and then I was recruited. I went to some challenging, I guess I was placed in some challenging districts that were some turnaround districts, and I kind of like garnered that reputation. Uh, I was in the Army before getting into education, and so I'd kind of had developed a pretty tough mindset of don't tell me what we can't do here. We're going to get it done, and a lot of that probably came from my time in the military. Uh, and I've just shown that throughout my career. I went from assistant principal to associate principal at different schools in Lubbock ISD, and then I went to Slayton ISD, which is a smaller community, as the assistant superintendent, where I served for 5 years, and it was another turnaround type of district, and so I developed a reputation for being a turnaround, transformative leader. And when Brownfield ISD opened up and it was a chance for me to come back to where it all started, and take on a challenge that I knew was going to be tough. I took it head on and, I just finished my 27th year. It's crazy how time passes. During that time, I've been teacher of the year 2 times, principal of the year 2 times, superintendent of the year once, and a finalist for superintendent of the year for the state of Texas that same year. So
Wow.
it's been a great run for me.
Well, you could definitely say you earned it, right? So you're all those.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. All those awards, every step of the way. That's impressive. Um, so what's on the horizon for your district? Anything exciting? I mean, you're already in the middle of, you've done some amazing things. You're in the middle. Anything coming up in the future that's on the horizon, or just keep doing the amazing things you're doing?
Well, we're going to keep doing the things we're doing, but we have two new programs that we started this past year, which was one was a certified patient care technician. The other one is esports. And
Okay.
I remember even telling my own kids, you can't make money playing video games. Well, it turns out we're wrong, because you can make a lot of money by streaming and playing video games. And esports has become a billion-dollar industry, multi-billion-dollar industry. So we're trying to create an offering here that reaches a far-reaching demographic. Like, yes, you have traditional college and associate's degrees, but you have, your hands-on stuff, but we also are now doing esports, and it couples with we have a stream team where we do stream production of all of our own like sporting events, and we broadcast, our kids broadcast,
Huh.
they stream it, they produce it, and you can see that at brownfieldcubs.com. That's our streaming, that's where we stream to, and it's a student produced there's an adult sponsor with them, but it's student produced. And so we started esports, and the next thing we're going to start doing is streaming esports. And so we'll see if the next great streamer comes from Brownfield ISD. I don't know, but anything's possible, and we're just trying to give kids opportunities to do that. And we've aligned, we've become a district that people want to see what's happening. We even academically, we're what TEA calls an exemplar, where districts come and see what we've done with our curricular alignment, because we had to change our whole system. And when we got here, we were like at 22% on, that were reading on grade level, throughout the whole system. And so we knew we had to change some things. So I mean, we're just continuing to do the work, and God's been good to us, and that's a blessing for me personally. And I believe that He's been working in Brownfield for a while now.
Sounds like it. And I mean, it sounds like there's some great operational things happening. There's also some great, innovative things happening. Like that just seems esports seem like kind of an innovative idea. Um, would you say you're
It's
more of,
different.
yeah, it is, it is different. Would you say you're more on the idea side or more the operational side or a combination or,
Oh, it's both, man. I love it. That's the thing I love about my job the most, is having the ability to be in a 3A district. You're very fortunate because you have the resources to do some things, maybe not everything, but you've got more than, being at a very small district. And you can still be impactful as a leader. I think that once you get to a super large district, your ability to be impactful directly is diminished. It's just too big. And unless you have like-minded subordinates and things like that, it's going to be a challenge. Well, at this level, man, I do everything from conceptualization, brainstorming, planning, implementation, supports. But that's just who I am. And I guess that's why I've gone to the districts I've been at, sent to the districts or schools that I've been to help turn things around. I'm not just I'm gonna sit down and lead from the back. I try to lead from the front, and that's something that I think my career would testify to. And man, I'm all about it. I try to be involved in at every phase of our programming here. So I love it. That's what I love the most about my job, is to be able to actually be impactful in the schools, in the community, and man, it's just great.
Yeah, and your passion to make a difference is obviously, is shown with the results you've seen, but you can also hear it in your voice and what you're describing here. So that, I appreciate
Well,
you coming on the podcast today. I know we're running short on time. Just curious, anything else you want to close out with? Anything else you want to share with our listeners?
no, I just, thank you for the opportunity to highlight, education in general. We have amazing facilitator, teachers, instructional experts. Here's a cool thing, and I'll just leave with this. One of the things that we've been able to do is really hit our teacher incentive allotment here, and we're going to pay out almost $1 million this year to teachers who have met, those goals and guidelines that the TEA has established. So that's something that we like to focus on our students, but we also try to do everything we can for our teachers. And I think the future's bright when you can do that in education. And I think we can move beyond the politics. I think when you focus on kids, focus on teachers, you can do great things. And it doesn't matter what your demographic is or who tells you you can't do it. We'll get it done.
Yeah, I love that mindset. The get it done mindset. No matter what, you're gonna figure it out. I like that.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we're going to close out now. We want to say thank you for the listeners that have tuned in. And before we close out, we do want to give one final shout out to our sponsor, Ideal Impact. Ideal Impact's giving away hundreds of millions of dollars to public education in the form of a free gift. So if your district needs unrestricted funds, reach out to Ideal Impact. And for those that have been tuning in, stay tuned for future episodes of the Educational Leadership Podcast.